Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be continuing with our game of catch-up, listening to records that I meant to get to sooner throughout the year, but of course, better late than never. And with that being said, today we are checking out the incredible band that is Stereolab with their newest LP, Instant Holograms on Metal Film. Stereolab stems from the 90s, makes incredibly unique, I guess they're labeled as post-rock to some, music that is oftentimes quite political while at the same time being very abstract in its delivery, embracing a very kind of interesting lounge-esque French pop, 60s jazz-esque sort of sound, bringing all these sort of different subgenres together to make something that is just very unique. I really don't know if there's a single band I can think of that even sounds like Stereolab, if I'm being honest with you. I think Dots and Loops, the record right here in the background, is a perfect record, and there's not a single album I can think of that even captures the atmosphere and the world that Stereolab creates on that record. And same could really be said for the rest of their albums I have heard so far. With that being said, Instant Holograms is an hour long. It's 59 minutes and 40 seconds, 13 tracks. And it's also 15 years since their last LP. So this has been a long time coming. And from what I've heard, this feels like a true, I guess you could say, return to form. And sounds as if they really haven't been gone all that long. So with that being said, let's get into the first track here, Mystical Plosives, which is only less than a minute long, 56 seconds, before we're going to get into the meat of things with Aerial Troubles. So without further ado, let's get into it. Mystical Plosives. Here we go. Oh, and our sound is shut off. And like I said, they embrace so many subgenres: electronic, French pop, 60s lounge jazz music. They're very otherworldly. Really setting the stage with this electronic spiraling synth. Let's get into Aerial Troubles. A real tone setter to kick things off there. Get into a bit of a groove here. Maybe about the state of the world's overconsumption. Consumer capitalist mindset we have nowadays. Love how funky those guitars are in the background. What a driven groove this track has. Love these backing vocals. A little angelic in those backing vocals. Oof. Oh, right back into that first track's spiraling synth. I like that one a lot. Let's go into Melody is a Wound. Love how cute the sound of the records are. Dots and Loops, of course, much in the same vein. I will say, even though they carry on a similar sound throughout all their records, there's still such a key distinction in them. I love the guitar, the way that almost warbly effect on it. pretty straightforward, blunt lyricism about the powers that be, the corruption of the, well, of the rich, if we're being honest. Love this jazzy drum section. Oh, this is fantastic. This track's fantastic. I want to say, what a great groove. All these separate sections. Love the structure. Very multi-structured. This track is almost 8 minutes. I didn't even realize. A real odyssey already. I love how blunt and direct and again, depressing the lyrics really are when you think about them, and yet Stereolab delivers them with every track on such a fun, just groovy, laid-back track. You know, you it's one of those things where kind of like Outkast said, you know, you don't want to hear what he's saying, you just want to dance. That's what I get from Stereolab. They've got such a fun, just upbeat, great laid-back groove on them, and yet they're delivering some real, just harsh truths. But what a time it is. Love this drum. Oh, another switch up. Oh. I love how the song essentially just ended there, but we're going to keep going. This is a real extended kind of dance portion here. Love that gnarly electrified guitar here. Oh. What a fat, brassy, was that a trumpet? Is that, what is that? I don't know what it is. It's a horn, clearly, just incredibly brassy and loud and off kilter. Oh. Can't make heads or tails what that even is. You know, we've got a sax on here. We've got a trombone. We've got a lot of instruments. If you can't tell, they put everything into the mix, into the blender, and it certainly sounds blended, but in the best way possible. God, I love this beat. Like, it's just so catchy. Love how thick everything sounds on this track. God. Love how kind of glitchy and it clipped out that sounds, that blaring instrument. Wow. Melody is a wound. Incredible. Love that. A nice 8-minute, just an odyssey, essentially. Here's Immortal Hands. A gentle acoustic to open this up. Not used to acoustics too much from them, from what I remember. Love that gentle strum. Feels so freeing. Oh, I like that bass. Boom, boom, boom. Love that bass lick. A lot of little details shining through on this track. Oh! Getting a little futuristic here. God, I love the effects on this whole album. Has this weird modulated kind of phaser effect on everything. This is probably the grooviest album of the year. I feel pretty safe in saying that. Like, this thing is just a groove central. Every track cuts into one groove from the next with such ease. Love the heavy use of brass instrumentation on this LP so far. A lot more horn focused than what I'm used to from them. Oh, a flute sliding in. Take us away. Oh. Rob Fry is on our flute here. What a incredibly what a groovy, catchy, horn-filled opus that was. Love that one. And again, back to back, we've got a 6-minute and we had a 8-minute track in Melody is a Wound. Those two back to back, those two tracks back to back is like an entire LP's worth of grooves crammed into 2 tracks. Those songs are amazing. They're actually just some of the most groovy and fun and just simply enjoyable tracks I've heard perhaps all year. A lot of great albums that came out this year, but in terms of just pure joy and bliss that comes through the mix, nobody does it like Stereolab, that's for sure. Here's Vermona F Transistor. Having a whale of a time with this LP, I gotta say. It's just a great groove-filled LP. Bit more of a punkier aesthetic on those drums, especially. Very punchy with them. Very dreamlike, this section. Love the way it strips it all back. Love how mellow and psychedelic that mix sounds. Dun, 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 dun. She has full confidence on this track. Love her vocals. Love the very just like almost spoken word-esque delivery of her vocals. You know, she kind of sings things quite bluntly, quite flatly as well. But it matches just the energy and the ethos of the band's sound, really. It's not like showboaty or anything. I like that. I like that one. Kind of psychedelic, kind of punk in a way with those drums. Very punchy. You know, maybe not as groove based or as extended, of course, as those last two tracks, but you know, I don't think we need necessarily more of that anyway. Let's go into track 6, Le Coeur et la Force. I am not, you know, I'm half French, but I don't speak it, unfortunately. So I do my best. Maybe an insult to my own heritage. Oh, bit of a lo-fi drum roll there to kick it off. This one's quite moodier. Feels like some sort of espionage film. Love this clear guitar on the right side that just slid in so sharply. That acoustic so dreamy on that left side there. I like that one too. Not my favorite of the batch so far, but still, I mean, sounds polished, incredibly well produced. Nothing negative to say about it. Like the kind of lo-fi aesthetic up against the sometimes more clarity in the guitar work. A nice contrast there. Here's Electrified Teeny Bop. What a name! Oh my God, it's really punchy and really fast-paced on this one. This feels like an electrified teeny bop if I've ever heard one. Love this main, just like erratic synth. Oh, this has like some real kind of like Brian Eno-esque guitar work. Feels like something off of Here Come the Warm Jets, Brian Eno's debut experimental rock record from the 70s. Man, this one, it's so erratic, it's so bouncy. This captures that metal film part of the title, that's for sure. Feels very metallic in its tone. Yeah, bring some strings in there. The xylophone getting quite violent, perhaps. The whole mix becoming more... Oh yeah, more modulated, more kind of broken down here. That one's got a great kind of driven groove to it. Love that one. Here's Transmuted Matter. Bum, bum, bum. Really like this bass line. That guitar work came in, tried to steal the show, but really like what this bass is doing. Love how playful the whole LP really is, but very whimsical in a way. Love the main melodies on this track. Very simple, but the whole mix kind of bounces. Very similar to the early tracks, from groove to groove. But this main bass line that everything feels like it's built upon is fantastic. Insane set of synthesizers too, mostly played by Joe Watson, it would seem. Love the synth work that we've had throughout this record. I'm gonna attribute most of it to him. Here's SM Plastic Creeping Eruption. I think that's a wah guitar, am I wrong? Sounds like a wah guitar. Always like a good wah wah. Love the jazzy drum work throughout this one too. There's a real throwback sound on the whole thing, as expected. I will say, as this track grows, you know, it is a 6-minute track. We're about 3 minutes in almost, so about the halfway mark. This track, I would say, you know, compared to the other two longer tracks on here, this one feels like it runs its course pretty quick. I don't feel like I'm as engaged in this one as it goes on. I think the repetition of it all isn't, you know, as unique to me, isn't as interesting. Maybe it'll evolve, maybe it'll change in the second half here. I do like the deeper electrified guitar here on that left side. Feels very gnarly, feels very brooding. This does have a real creeping sound, like the title suggests, I will say. Oh, I like the way it's ramping up here. We're heading towards that creeping eruption, perhaps. Wait, hold on, it's fading out. Maybe I spoke too soon. Final minute. Well, I take back everything I said about this track. What a funky way to close things out. Everything feels like it's warped through like some sort of distant tunnel. Love the production on this LP. Lots of very unique production choices that are a little odd and funky. Yet very Stereolab. You know what? I take back what I said. I do enjoy that track. I think it comes around in that second half. Here's If You Remember, I Forgot How to Dream, Part 1. A two-parter. Sandwiched around the two following tracks. Oh, there it is. Love how abrupt that cutoff is on this instrument.
Full of revelations, supremely conceiving.
This one's kind of a sci-fi epic, perhaps, with these lyrics.
In presence, embodied, complete.
Love this. Sounds like a cut-off organ of some sort.
Of one
Very abrupt.
union, compound.
I like that one. A bit of a jazzier kind of cut there. I like the organ playing throughout that one. Very abrupt in its sound. Great groove on it overall. Here's Flashes from Everywhere. We'll say this is quite a lengthy LP, and I will say, you know, even though it's all been very enjoyable so far, it does feel like, you know, it doesn't float by in a breeze necessarily, but maybe on repeated listenings it will. I mean, there is a lot to take in, a lot going on, as laid back as it may be. Even something like a Dots and Loops, which I think is pretty much perfect, is still a listen that requires a lot to really sink into. This one's easing into it. Rob, what was it, Fry? Once again, coming in at that gorgeous, I think it's a clarinet perhaps there. This one has a sluggishness to it.
To begin, looking for different ways to assemble the flowers, reveal the colors.
I like these horns. Just floating on the mix, yet guiding the whole melody there in that section. Love the very ever-expanding lyricism. Just feels like they are Their ones try to reach the very crevices of the creativity. Oh, caught me off guard there. Oh. Man, this LP's entire, you know, woodwind and brass instrumentation, beautiful. And again, I believe this is Rob Fry taking it away here. I could be wrong, but shout out to Rob Fry. Really killing it throughout this record. I like that one. I had a sluggishness to it before it really just takes over and it becomes its own thing in that second half. Let's go right into Color Television, which I feel like, you know, with a title like that, it's gotta be a real funky one, right? I mean, they've all been funky, let's be honest here. They're all incredibly groove-based and groove-focused. I like the almost underwater vocals throughout this album too at times. The way she modulates them. Oh, love how bright and vivid this one sounds when those drums come in. A real sense of optimism shining through. So these drums are getting increasingly louder in the mix, I think, and more fun, more thrilling in their sound. Oh, I love this one. What a vivid track this is. I like that one a lot. I didn't have much to say as it went to the back end. You know, it was just such a fun, vivid groove like I came to expect from that track. Let's go right into the final track here. If you remember, I Forgot How to Dream Part 2. Which I really like that Part 1, so let's revisit it. Closing out the LP here. What a ride it's been. Oh. Like that. Almost like reverse synth effect. Oh, we got a real rocking melody on this one. Sounds like a retro cave track of some sort, you know, very ominous and metallic. Bano, 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 bano. Love that guitar work. Oh. That guitar. Just dancing along, kind of on top of the whole instrumental. Oh, and that's gone. These ominous, I believe, male vocals here. This has a bit of a Eastern or like microtonal type thing going on. Wow. I like that track to close it out. It's a short one. It's at well, I guess 3 minutes, pretty standard for most. But for Stereolab, that's pretty quick. You know, I think it's the only track in that 2-minute range. So it is a shorter track, and just kind of ends things on a more ominous, funky, darker tone, really. But still quite the groove. This whole LP, let's talk on it. Instant Holograms on Metal Film, Stereolab. 13 minutes, 59 minutes, 40 seconds. We are done listening to it, and I gotta say, the grooviest album I've heard in 2025. I'll say that much. Loved just how funky it was, how bizarre it was at times. I love how much it embraced the production side and the very unique production choices of making things sound very lo-fi at moments up against these very clear other instrumentals that provide a great contrast. Other times, things like the vocals, for example, sounded like they were manipulated in a way that felt like our main female vocalist, was underwater or something. The way it was so kind of modulated in the mix. Loved Melody Is a Wound in Immortal Hands. Like I said, those two back to back are just like insane. I was gonna say whiplash. It's not whiplash, but it's an insane back to the back, just odyssey of tracks that I don't even know which one I like more. I think maybe Immortal Hands, but both are just fantastic. But I could say, really, at the end of the day, this entire LP kind of feels like an extension of those tracks. Just very groovy, very fun, while still embracing some, truth bombs, I guess you would say. Some very clear political sort of stances about, greed, money, the powers that be, the rich, kind of, dominating over all and having complete, total control to the point of some of these tracks seeming like there's maybe a sense of thought control. There's a dystopian sort of theme that runs deep, and I feel like that's something that has always kind of been part of Stereolab's sort of lyricism in a way, with just kind of how bleak, I guess, the lyrics can seem up against, just like I said, incredibly funky, fun, enjoyable grooves that feel very retro, and yet still also feel really futuristic, unique, and one of a kind in a way. I think it's really impressive how they can really manage to capture the influences of the past and really make this distinct sound that feels retro in a way, and yet at the same time feel like they're not being influenced by anything. They sound like they are entirely one of a kind, which they are. Like I said at the beginning of this reaction, there's really no other artist or band I can think of that captures the same sort of unique, otherworldly flavor of Stereolab LP. Like I said, it feels like we are transported to a realm that only they seem to understand. But Stereolab Instant Holograms, a great LP. An hour long. I do think at times maybe you can feel the runtime. I do think some of these tracks maybe can go on a little bit long, but I think with most Stereolab tracks, that seems to be the case. However, the more you listen to it, the more you really kind of embrace the stretched out nature of these tracks. I know Dots and Loops, for example, when I first heard it, I didn't love it, but then now, today, I've got it on vinyl, of course, and it is an album that I come back to quite often because it is so hypnotic in a way, much in the same way that this LP is very hypnotic and just kind of sucks you into the world. But that does it for today's video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to listen to more records alongside myself. New records, old records, current records, every record. I'm trying to cover everything here. I will. So if you want to see that, go ahead and like and subscribe to follow along and listening to more albums alongside myself. If you want to see the full unedited reactions of every single album reaction I have done this year onward. So every single reaction, essentially, $5 a month is all it takes. It's just $5, and you get all the content I release unedited. Otherwise, you can subscribe here and just follow along for the edited content. As always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.